doing anything. And they said, why would we work hard for families? Why would we work hard for somebody else's kids and somebody else's wife? So he did a radical thing, and he scrapped the agreement. Now he didn't have the authority to like get rid of their debt. They owed a lot of money for getting over there. But he allowed each family to have a plot of land of their own, and they could do whatever they wanted with it. They could clear it, they could let it sit, they could build houses on it, they could plant as much as they wanted to. They do whatever they wanted with it. It didn't matter. Everybody got personal property and ownership. And they had, he said that they planted a lot more corn than normally would have been planted. These folks went to town because of free capitalism, free enterprise, and they had an incredibly abundant harvest. They had so much produce and so much harvest that they were able to sell the excess, trade the excess back to the Indians, pay off their debt in record time, and the economy prospered. And what's crazy is, what I didn't realize this, the word of this got out to all of Europe, and the word that you had riches or wealth in the New World caused the great Puritan migration that began after that, because there was the opportunity for wealth, which is free enterprise. So today, what we see is this is a perfect microcosm of socialism versus free market capitalism. And what's kind of neat is that is the very foundation of this country, long before we were, I mean, this is 1620. This is long before we were a nation, long before we had Karl Marx arguing against for the working class and against the rich and the wealthy and all that sort of stuff. Long before that battle, this was an actual experiment in real life, and we see the success. So we've got this going on now. We have folks that have not learned the lesson from history, and they end up trying to repeat the same thing. They try to take away incentive. We have right now pretty much a devastating deficit in the workforce of people that are not willing to work. So I think that there's a saying that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And unfortunately, we say that saying, but we don't mean it, because we don't learn from history. To be fair, multiple generations probably have never even heard that side of the story. And that's unfortunate. So free enterprise, personal property, personal incentive, and these are good people. I mean, let's just say those young men were, no good, whatever, sitting on, these were good people. These were people who risked life and limb to come here.
They did.
And they were Christians, they were moral, they were hardworking people, and still the basic truth of human nature came through, the way we're put together. So I think that's the battle that we still have today, is between socialism, clearly communism, and free market enterprise.
So he came over on the Mayflower?
Yes.
Wow.
William Bradford?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this too today, when I was looking at a leadership, it was talking about creative thinking and leadership, and it talked about one of the things that you have to do if you want to bring creative thinking into something is you have to be willing to change your assumptions. And the truth is that all of us, at some point, have some assumption that we are operating on right now that is false. Something. Yeah. We're always having to challenge what we assume is true if we want to grow. We want to get to a different place. And he did that. He took that. You talk about a radical departure. Now, granted, they had a lot of death. They had buried a lot of those early pilgrims. So, I mean, I think something radical needed to be done. I think he saw that, but he was a great leader and did that.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. That's a great story, Andrew.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. That's all new to me.
Oh, and I do want to give credit to that. So,
thank you, Wikipedia.
No. Rush Limbaugh wrote about it in his second book years and years ago. And then he used to share this annually on his Thanksgiving program. As first Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And then it got picked up by other scholars and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of morphed over the years to get a fuller picture of it. The Indians definitely played a part, but the actual prosperity, the explosion of prosperity in Plymouth was because of this shift from a commune to personal property. So it's a great life lesson, history lesson. So
yeah, that's great. What's next?
that's all I've got.
Really?
Yeah. So
anything else? I didn't bring anything to talk about.
yeah. Well, we probably don't want to go much more over 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
at the most.
and I don't know how long has it been going on.
We've got plenty.
20?
Total?
20. Well, but there's some parts I have to cut out.
Yeah, we'll cut out some parts because we started recording a little bit early.
All right, do you want to pause it or do we need to pause it?
We don't need to pause it.
Okay.
We can just, whenever we want to wrap it up or whatever we want to do, we
Okay.
can just say 3, 2, 1, and then.
Dad, when you're moving your hands over, you're knocking your mic. So,
Yeah, I gotta stop doing this.
Yeah, that little cable on your mic, I pulled it tight because so it won't
Okay.
pop.
Okay. Oh, did it again.
Whatever it takes, they say they run better when you have them like this.
Oh, okay.
Straight up. No, when they have this mic straight up instead of at you. I was just
Okay.
reading about it. So
Okay.
it should sound better to pick up. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
Well, I guess we could talk about
We definitely need to talk about the email and how people will get a hold of us.
Yeah. So the email, which is long, is the MC2 podcast at gmail.com. So why MC2?
Oh, that's great.
We didn't explain.
No,
I didn't
you've
even
got
say
to.
what my last name was.
Yeah, that's right. You got to do it.
So my last name is McCanna.
Mine's
is
McNeil.
McNeil, so MC. It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
We would have sit by each other like in high school.
We'd
We'd have been in the same homeroom.
I might have been a little taller than you.
I don't know. I had a late growth spurt. Yeah, it was much later. Actually, I'm still waiting on some of it. So all y'all are gonna be laughing someday, though.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to email us, the MC2 podcast, all one word, the MC2 podcast, the whatever you want to do it. If you're King James style, you want to do we can do it that way too. But the MC2 podcast at gmail.com, and that is where we are right now. So if you're interested in sending us anything, and this is our first one, right? So we're working out some kinks. We tried to take a caller earlier, which is kind of different and interesting. We took Andrew's wife Andrea on a call, and it was kind of a hot mess because of our technology here. But we hope to improve that over these, and we hope that this is the beginning of something pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the gist of it is that we just want to be truthful and just talk about any different things that are going on. Politics is always interesting, but there's a lot of other stuff too going on in the county that we can talk about. So, and we'll try to bring those things in to the podcast. So thanks for listening. We appreciate you taking the time and making it to the end. And we're also going to post videos of this. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
we're videoing the whole thing. Not that you're going to see anything great in the video, although Drew, Andrew's son, is wearing turquoise headphones because that's the only one we had. So they're my 7-year-old daughter's. But they work just the same. Okay. And maybe we'll just keep doing those because it's kind of a little added touch.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and we will see you